And we're live. Welcome to another Away Day show. It's the extra time show today. And today we've got Charlotte. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name's Charlotte and I'm a Chelsea fan.
Tell us where we can find you, Charlotte.
On
If you
Instagram
want
and
people to
Twitter.
find you.
On yeah. If at Charles_strong on Instagram and Twitter.
Thank you so much. So we're just gonna get straight into it. How long have you been into football, Charlotte?
18 years now.
The thing is, you say 18 years, but I was doing the
Not
math.
like,
Is the end of your Twitter handle? Is that your age?
nah, what? I'm 25.
So you were born in 1995 then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So okay. Oh yeah. I just feel like 1995 was. It wasn't that long ago, but now I think about it, it's 25 years ago. It's ages.
Thanks.
So,
Feel really old then.
no, I'm 10 years older than you, so
That's
yeah.
not bad.
There you go. You're not that old. So you've been into football for 18 years. Have you always supported Chelsea?
Yeah, always.
Okay. Is that a family thing or?
No, my mum and dad both support West Ham.
Wow. How did that happen?
Like I think I was watching a West Ham game and Chelsea were playing, and I just fell in love.
Yeah, because West Ham's football probably wasn't great at that time, was it?
Really wasn't.
So who was like the first footballer that you like sort of fell in love with? Not fancied, but for footballing reasons.
Dennis Wise.
Wow. Okay, I want to let you off now. Now I know you're a legitimate fan because you're talking about Dennis Wise. So only legitimate fans would know about Dennis Wise or would even like Dennis Wise.
It's the goal when he nutmegs for Milan and he nutmegs the goalie for the goal. Oh, it's just beautiful.
That is okay. I respect that. Dennis Wise. So 18 years. What's been probably your favorite Chelsea moment?
I think most people, I mean, I have to say Champions League is obviously going to be one of them. Like that's any Chelsea fan that doesn't say that is silly, like, because it was a major movement. But I mean, I quite enjoyed the Premier League win that we had 16-17. Really enjoyed that one because we were very, very, very on the ball then. It was consistent as well, and I enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. It was a consistent football that I could enjoy, and we played it well. It wasn't on and off like we are at the minute. So,
and your favorite Chelsea manager?
I'm going to be really controversial here. Mourinho.
That's not controversial though, is it?
I feel like it is now that he's gone to Spurs. Like,
yeah, I see what you mean, but realistically, I think most Chelsea fans still probably say Mourinho is their favorite.
He's such a talent, and what he does, the tactics that he comes armed with, he is a talent. And you could say, because look what he's done to Tottenham. Like, Tottenham weren't the best last season. Let's put it that way. They're a proper bottle job. They bottle everything. But he's. I'm not saying he's a miracle, but they've become tactically stronger.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. They're not the best team in the world. Period. End of. No, it's Spurs. Spurs bottom.
So obviously, Mourinho. I mean, you can't really disagree with that. Which team do you dislike the most?
I mean, I have a few. Probably Man U.
Is that do you hate?
Not hate them, but I just dislike them.
But no, like I think I dislike teams more now because they're fans, not as much as the actual team. Like, I don't know. I think it's to do with social media as well. Like, we all love a bit of banter and stuff, but some people take it too far. So yeah, you end up probably disliking teams. I won't say hate, but you dislike teams more because of their fans. and I can see why you would dislike Man United fans because they're a bit ahead of themselves at the moment, aren't they?
Like it's when Man U fans start bringing in that they're in the title race, and I'm not saying like the fans I know like aren't doing that, but there are
Oh, no,
fans.
but they are. We've got mutual friends right now they keep saying, I'm not going to mention his name, but he keeps saying they're in the conversation. So from you say, you know who I'm talking about because he keeps using the word conversation. So
literally,
yeah, he keeps saying we're in a conversation. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's a weird one. I don't even think we could say who's like, however much I think Liverpool are contenders. I don't think you can particularly say anybody because we've only had 14 games.
Trust me, yeah.
Like this time last year, we'd had 18 games and Liverpool were 10 points ahead. This time they're 14 games and they're 6 points ahead. There's a difference here.
They're mathematically in there, aren't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But if you look at it now, like if Leicester and Man U draw and get a point each, and Chelsea beat Arsenal, we go into third place. Like it's changing just like that.
Yeah, it literally is, isn't it?
Like that's what I mean. It's changing so much that you can't just be like, oh yeah, we're in the race. When in February, March, you could be like,
in
12th place. You don't know.
You heard it here first, Bobby. You are not in the race. You're not in the conversation. So when you hear this, Bobs, you're not in the race, mate.
Nah, absolutely not. Like the fact that you're even saying this is making me question if you're a Man U fan. Like, come on.
Oh, bless him. So we're gonna get onto, I wouldn't say controversial, but just I have asked a couple of people and they weren't so. I would say they're scared, but it just wasn't their thing to want to talk about some of the issues.
Yeah.
So that's fair. That's up to them, and I can't be mad at them. But you're a Chelsea fan. What did you feel about this? And it was the doctor, Eva Canero, and she said that she heard Jose Mourinho insult her. And when you actually heard the insult, he was never found guilty, was he?
Do you know the problem I have with this absolute Eva issue is that before this even Mourinho insult started and before we had this issue with Mourinho, she was being hurled sexist abuse by fans before this Mourinho incident.
Yeah.
That's what kind of stemmed up to this. And it's like the build up to this big thing that happened. And I personally think she was treated with such disrespect because I wonder if it was a man, would we have the same conversation? Would we be having the same conversation?
Yeah. It just wouldn't even be a conversation, would it?
No, it wouldn't, because I don't think Mourinho would have treated another man like that. And that's where my issue lies, because she was like, I used to look up to her so much, and I'm sure loads of little girls did. They looked up to her because she was this amazing female in a man's world, treating men and making men better. Like, and then this happened, and it's just a bit like you see all these people looking up to her, and then people are like, "Oh, this is how women are treated in football," but we shouldn't be. But I don't get surprised anymore, like, because this is normal. However horrible that is to say, it's normal.
You know what? I think Jose Mourinho is that arrogant that he would have done it to a man. But I feel like there's just some things that you just know. And you just know there's a difference between a man and a woman in certain things. So there's just certain things you just don't do. So obviously, if you're having banter with men and stuff, you wouldn't have the same banter with a woman. So there are certain things that you don't do. And I think personally he would have done it to both, but I think he should have been able to stop himself because he saw that she was actually trying to help his player. And what was probably annoying is that if the situation was different, were you losing at the time or were you drawing and someone went down? Was it?
We was drawing. We was winning. We were drawing.
I think that's why he got so angry because he wanted the game to carry on.
Yeah, he wanted the game to carry on, and she ran on as you're supposed to. It states when the referee calls you on, you go on as a medic. If the referee is concerned, now if Mourinho had an issue, he should have taken it up with the referee and not with Eva. Eva was the easy target. She was the woman, and she was the easy one to pick on, and that's what makes me annoyed because. If the referee called her on, there's nothing she can do. She has to do her job.
Yeah.
And if the referee is concerned over a player that much, he is allowed legally to call on the medical team, and he goes above the managers if he wants to call them on.
To do it in front of like 30,000 people as well, just makes it even worse because she must have felt so small at that specific time there.
I just think it's really disrespectful, like it's humiliating. It's absolutely humiliating in front of so many people. Like, I just
I can see that anger. I can feel it through the screen, and I think it's just one of those things as well. Like, is it because I won't say it's because he's Jose Mourinho, but is it because of the money and sort of things why it's just being brushed off? Like, I just feel like it was just okay. It exploded for a few hours, few days, and it just seems like it just disappeared. Like it hasn't tarnished his reputation at all, which in any other walk of life, it probably would.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem I have, is that he has gone on with an absolutely untarnished record. Yeah. She lost her job, and when have you heard of her since? When was the last time you saw her? And that's what's annoying, because he's got away with murder. She suffered.
She's definitely suffered. This season we had another incident. We had Aguero escaping punishment for grabbing. It is Cheyenne, isn't it?
Sean Massey Ellis.
Yeah. So that's gone unpunished. That one, obviously, if we take away the fact that it was against Arsenal, I still think that's a red card. And I think if that was a man, he actually would have been sent off, which was even worse. That he should be in more trouble because it was a woman, because just naturally men are stronger than women in that sort of thing. But he actually made her move. That's what was weird, that he made her move by doing it. Like, how did you feel when you saw that? What do you think should have happened to him?
Actually, I personally feel like Aguero should have been red carded and actually fined.
Yeah.
Because if he'd have done that to a male referee, that would have come off as aggressive, and he would have had a straight red card and he would have been fined straight away. But because it's a woman, it's all brush it under the carpet. It was an accident. I'm sorry. I don't care. That you're basically saying and the Football Association, by not actually stepping in, have said it's okay to put hands on a woman because if it's not being aggressive, you can touch her and it's okay. It's not okay.
I think that's the main issue. There's no doubt in my mind that he's meant to hurt her or anything. He hasn't meant to do that. But I just feel like if that was him doing it against another footballer, he would have been sent off. If it was him doing it against another ref, he would have been sent off. So I just want to know, sort of what the difference is and why to me, red card and a suspension, a fine.
I felt sorry for her as well, because she looks so uncomfortable. And I think when you see someone look that uncomfortable, someone has to step in, and no one stepped in either, which kind of blew me away, because I was just looking at it why isn't anyone helping her? I
think the worst thing is she wouldn't want that to happen. She wouldn't want this conversation to happen anyway. So I kind of feel like that's why we haven't heard. She never said anything. She never really came out and said anything, because she didn't want to be seen as the victim. But I just feel like they should have done more to protect her.
I just think they really should have done, and they didn't. But this is becoming a very, very, very normal thing, and I don't like saying that. I don't want to say that, but it's becoming it's like the FA don't give a shit about women. It really is. They seem to want to not if a man like Xhaka, he put his hands around someone's neck, red card. Any
straight away.
aggressiveness towards a footballer
Yeah,
and a footballer is fine, but if it becomes a woman, like it's not that big of a deal. Like
yeah, which is it's just so, and I think I've always felt like that, but until my daughter was born nearly 2 years ago, it's got even worse. Like I just feel more passionate about it because I just feel like if that was my daughter, then like it just things just wouldn't like I could potentially be in
literally,
prison. Like that's how bad it is. So
literally,
another
it's not
thing,
good.
yeah. Why do you feel like men act that way towards women in football, just in general? Because I haven't quite seen it with yourself. Mate, you can tell me if I'm because I haven't been following you for that long. I don't feel so. I haven't quite seen it with you, but I know you're going to tell me different. But I've seen it with two other the two Spurs fans. I don't want to say their names just in
No,
case.
I've seen
Yeah,
one of them, and
but
it's
just
disgusting. I
like,
don't.
and the worst thing is, I know it's like 14, 15-year-olds, but
Yeah.
it's
See,
also men as well. Like there's grown men like doing
the
this, and I
one,
just don't know
the
why.
one, the one I got dealt with was actually a grown man.
Yeah.
And he told me I was a slut, a slag, a whore, and that I should go back to the kitchen where I belong.
For what
And,
reason? What did you do to him?
and I didn't do anything. I genuinely just posted about Chelsea. I
Yeah.
posted about Chelsea and like I think I was commenting on Hazard or something. I was commenting
Yeah.
on Hazard, and he commented all these things. And one of my another Chelsea fan kind of stepped in and like
Mm-hmm.
he was like, "What are you doing?" Like, but it's just like when people are like, "Oh, like it's not that normal for girls to be called it." Yeah, I've been called it quite a few times. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Anybody is allowed to be a fan.
Yeah.
Anybody. It doesn't matter what gender, who you want to become. Like, if you're from the LGBTQ community, like if whatever religion you are, I don't care. If you're a football fan, be a football fan, but just be a fan and support other fans and praise them when they're doing great and like lift them up. Like, because kindness doesn't cost anything. And sometimes these things hurt deeper than you know, because you
Yeah.
never know what anyone's been through. And I feel like you've got all these, like, especially Chelsea fans, they're
Mm-hmm.
really like they yo-yo up and down, like, and they're very quick to say something and not think about it. So
Yeah.
they'll tweet something and then delete it. Like, but
It's
a
just,
lot of
it is a
these are
lot of
now
football fans.
becoming,
Yeah.
and now a lot of these, like where you get called a slut and a slag, a lot of them is these young 15-year-olds telling
That's
you
what I'm
like
saying. It's
they
just
I don't
that's
like I've
parenting for me. That must be parenting. Like,
and I agree.
where do you hear that? Like, you must see that to think that's normal. Maybe not parenting. Actually, it might just be they just I don't know. Like, women are just disrespected all the time anyway. To be fair, like it's sort of just watching music videos, anything like that. It's not the same. Like you could tell
Yeah.
they're not treated equally. Men and women are not treated equally.
But you know what annoys
Sports,
me?
anything.
But the problem I have is that if you right now look at the Chelsea men's team and the Chelsea women's team,
Mm-hmm.
the Chelsea women's team is absolutely on fire at the minute. You've got Sam
Yeah.
Kerr, you've got Pernille Harder, like you've got Millie Bright, like you've got Magdalena Eriksson, like, and all these players aren't getting recognised. You've got Guro Retin, like these players are so talented, like, and and they're playing on form and they are playing great football, and the recognition and the pay is different because of what? Because right now the Chelsea women are
Yeah.
doing a better job than the men's team are.
I say same with Arsenal.
And
Got
that's the issue I
Niedermeyer and
have, is
players like
because
that, Nods, like all these like really good footballers. And
Niedermeyer is
the worst thing is
beautiful.
like
Yeah.
the
Well, you've
best,
got
the
like Beth
most
Mead,
skillful.
Jordan Nobbs,
Yeah, loads of them, and the
like,
best
and
footballer, the most
Niedermeyer as
skillful
well.
footballer I've ever played. And yeah, she's like her goal scoring record for Arsenal is better than most men in the same
Yeah.
thing. So
No,
like,
Niedermeyer
how
is
do
on
you
a
get them on the
different
same level?
level. Like Niedermeyer right now, like is
Yeah,
completely on another level to Aubameyang right now.
yeah,
Aubameyang's like
100%.
down here, and Niedermeyer's Like she
No,
is
we might need
so
to call her up.
yeah, like I'm like because do you know what I'd like to eventually see is maybe like I'm not even, but I'd like to eventually see, and I don't know how this would happen, but I'd like to see it, and I'd like to see maybe like a tournament or something that men and women play on one team, like a Chelsea men and women's together, create one good team playing against Arsenal men and women's together, because that I think would be beautiful to watch, because it shows that men and women are equal, because they are. And the women at the minute, like every women's team is bossing it at the minute. Even Man City women are bossing it to Man City. Like, I don't really know, like the women's, like even the Man U women's team, like you've got Tobin Heath, you've got Millie Turner, like it's I don't get why we have to compare them when we should just be like, these women are just as good as the men. Like we shouldn't have to be like, oh, but the women's team isn't as good as the men. No. Right now, the women's teams are better than the men's.
100%. How do we change it? How do we change it? Because obviously it's about supply and demand. So how do we change it? Because if the demand isn't there for the women's game, can we raise it so it's almost as big as the men's game? Is that something we can do?
I think. Well, I'm hoping this rumor's true, but I've heard the BBC are going to be playing all women's games on TV.
Yeah.
Now, if this is true, I think that's a great start.
Yeah.
Because the BBC have always supported the women's, and they've played like the women's finals and all this. Like, but I think picking up every single women's game and having it on TV, I think is a great start to boost this. Because like watching the women live is good, but like in this time you can't watch it at the minute. So being 100%. Able to watch it on TV, because right now the only place you can watch it is the FA Player. By the way, if you need to watch women's games, watch it on the FA Player. Best thing ever. I literally love it. It's so good. Like
that's the thing. Like it's usually on the BBC iPlayer, and you don't know it's on there.
No, like, exactly, because they need to do some more advertising. Because I feel like if you're gonna play every game, if you're gonna like put every game out on TV, then you need to be advertising. And if you're gonna advertise, start by like advertising every single game, not just certain games. Like I want to know when like every game is being played, and I want you to like shout. Like they have an Instagram account, chuck it on there. They've got a Twitter account, chuck it on there. 100%. Or even if they made like a BBC women's football account, like, and that was specifically for women, like, and then they like, if they chucked it on like the One Show being like, follow this for the women's stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's not hard to do things there's like loads, that.
Especially with social media, there's loads they could do, loads we can do as well to help. So
exactly.
Hopefully they're listening and we can get through to them, Charlotte.
I agree. All right.
Last two questions, because the time has flown by. I want you to give me your 11 favorite Chelsea team. So your best 11 for Chelsea.
Right. Okay. I've written it down for you.
Thank you.
Okay. So my goalie would be obviously Peter Cech, back in the prime. Left back, Ashley Cole.
Yep.
Centre back, Terry with Carvalho.
Yep.
And then right back, Ivanovic. He is. I like him.
Yeah, everybody does. He was in our. We almost put him in our greatest Premiership 11 yesterday.
Yeah. And then Lampard. I'd either do Lampard Wise. That's the problem. Yeah, I like that. Lampard and Wise.
Lampard and Wise. Okay, interesting.
Well, yeah. I would never not play Wise. So. Yeah, and then at front, I do Hazard, Zola, and Drogba.
That is a team. That's actually a good team. Hazard, Drogba, and Zola. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10 players. Have I missed someone? Who was your other midfielder? Oh, Essien. Oh, okay. Okay, that is a massive one to be missing out, to be fair.
Yeah, Essien was
that is a beast of a team. That is a beast of a
That
team.
would be my dream team to see play. If they all played at the height of their careers, like every single one of them, oh, that would be a beauty.
That's a beast of a team, to be fair. Wow, let me get that up again. Yeah, no, that's a beast of a team. All right. And the last question, where do you feel Chelsea are going to finish this year? What do you expect to get out of Chelsea?
I realistically don't particularly want anything under fourth, but personally, I'd like third. I personally will want third. I don't. We had fourth last year. Let's always do one better. Let's go for third.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say third.
Third, yeah. No, I can see it. To be fair, it's just if Lampard can integrate all the players, get them all playing. I'm not sure how many of these players he signed for one, and I'm not sure if they've been signed for him. I want to see Lampard do well because I feel that he's probably my favorite midfielder of the Premiership. Well, second favorite because Robert Perez is my favorite, but Lampard is probably my second favorite midfielder of the Premiership. So I want him to do well, but I just got a sneaky feeling that he's been told to come in for a couple of years while they get the person they want. But yeah, if you can get these guys playing.
I was watching a tweet. I was reading a tweet that was posted in 2017, and it said something like we'd have a 16 streak unbeaten game, then we'd lose 2, and then we would go unbeaten and win the Premier League this season. And that was posted in 2016.
That's scary.
And the fact is, and he said it was against, and they said we'd lose against Wolves and Everton as well.
That is weird.
So, I mean, I don't believe in any of this, and I'm not giving myself any hope. I'll take third place. But, if we win the Premier... But the problem I have is that, I was watching the West Ham game yesterday, and I'm buzzing we won 3-0. I'm not even complaining that we won 3-0. But, in the first half, in the first 20 minutes, we were attack, and then we just switched off. And then in the last, 20 minutes, we kind of switched back on again. And I'm like... If you can switch it on and off again, you should be playing like that every minute of every game. You can't just switch it on and off. That's not how a football game works. That's how you lose games and how you concede goals.
100%. In my honest opinion, I think Chelsea are a centre back and a striker away from winning the league. If they could get those two things, genuine world class centre back and a genuine world class striker that's going to score, then
do you know what? I don't think we need a striker. Do you know why? I'll tell you why now. Werner is being played on the wrong position.
Yeah, it's being played out of position. We all know.
And if you look at the Southampton game, he got 2 goals because he was in the right position. Why are we not playing him in the right position?
I think he's not playing in the right position to keep people happy. He's got to keep Giroud. He's got to keep Tammy on side because if
I don't care about Bambi on ice. I don't care. About Bambi on ice.
If something did ever happen to Werner, touch wood, he doesn't get injured, but if something ever did happen, you need these guys to still be wanting to play for Chelsea, and you need them in and around the team. So
yeah, but how long can you pretend?
Again, that's what I say. I honestly think it's just to get this season out of the way, because obviously Giroud isn't gonna stay there forever being a sub, is he? So
no. But I think that's all he's good for.
Yeah,
because if you look at the game where he started, he was so poor. He is a super sub, and I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to change at all. He is just a super sub, and he's going to have to put up with that. He's not young. He's not at his prime anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's not a good player in the Europa League, and he's done as well as a super sub, but that's all it is. Yeah, unfortunately,
110%. And big up Prime as well, the other
Prime
legitimate Chelsea fan that I know. So it's just you two at the moment. The rest of them, I'm a bit suspicious because they be coming out with the craziest stuff. But you two have your head screwed on, man. And I like to hear both of your perspectives on Chelsea. But Charlotte, thank you so much. I know we're going to do another one soon, but thank you so much for coming on and giving us your views. No problem whatsoever. And just to reiterate, you went with Cech in goal, Cole at left back, Carvalho and Terry, Ivanovic right back, Lampard, Essien and Wise, Drogba, Zola and Hazard. You cannot mess with that team. That is an amazing team. The only person I would probably kick out of that team is Wise. Put in Makalele.
I was debating between that.
That would be my only change. That would be my only change.
Dennis Wise is definitely my man.
But that is yeah. Since Wise is your guy, we're gonna leave him in there. But everybody, thank you for listening. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and please be sure to go check out Charlotte on Instagram and Twitter. Have a good evening, everyone.